Okay, wargaming in the morning. Still looking at Bloody Keren, Ethiopia, 1941. On Board Game Geek, the game page for Bloody Keren. I do look at the comments section, the user comments. I do use those user comments to look at games to buy. There's the British movement east towards Keren and Agordat, and this is after the first turn. The Italians have moved west to start defending these passes here. This pass here at Ekata, so the pass there between the river and the mountains there. I didn't mention these, I don't think I mentioned these blue hash marks. Those blue hash marks are, well, they're technically called the mountain peaks, and they are impassable. So these mountain peaks, there are actually quite a few of them, these mountain peaks. For such a small map, there's actually quite a good number of them, and they're impassable. So that would seem to be a significant factor of terrain to consider for both sides. So went ahead and moved Italian forces up here to begin a first line of defense using this pass as well, going through Keru. Put some cavalry up here on the mountains, because cavalry move easier through the mountains than other units. So I thought I might as well start with the cavalry on the mountains there, and then bringing up and consolidating some of the artillery behind here, moving up as well. Yeah, so the Italians moved, and when considering the Italian movement on that first turn, as I did, was important to go to the Italian unit organization sheet and to figure out who actually on the map is free to move, who has been released. So again, these Wolcate and Tigray garrisons, they do begin on the map. That's definitely the Wolcate garrison there. Yes, Kafta, that's a village, native village, Adi Ramos, yep. Yeah, so that's all the Wolcate garrison there. They are not released until certain conditions are met. So for example, to take another look at this. Oops. So just for example, the Wolcate garrison that we just looked at. This garrison is released immediately if an allied unit enters the Wolcate region. And actually, got some British there, just skirting. Oh, never mind. those British units are approaching the Wolcate region there. The dotted barrier there, or line, not barrier, boundary. Yeah, this is what I was trying to remember. If the Italian player chooses to release the garrison himself, the Allied player scores 2 victory points. So in general, there are release conditions for the garrison, but so in the case of the Wolcate garrison, for example, the Italian player can go ahead and choose to release the garrison on his own without those other conditions being met, but gives the Allied player 2 victory points. Now the Tigray garrison, again, Tigray's here, larger than the Wolcate region, to the east of the Wolcate region, and basically south of the Eritrea region. Yep, Eritrea region. So this is the Tigray garrison, and this garrison is released immediately if an Allied player enters the region, or per section 11.3. None of this garrison may be moved until release, but it may move within Tigray if a Tigrayan irregular defects. An irregular that defects does not release a garrison. An Italian irregular is not part of that region's garrison, okay, and cannot move from its starting location until it declares permanently for 1 player. Okay. So what is 11.3? Okay, defection. 11.3, I'm sorry, not defection. That's Ras Sayum, talked about before. Okay, all right, so on the first turn for the Italian player, again, when you're looking at all these units on the map, you might want to figure out first who's actually free to move. Okay, so so the comments for this game, and I'm just going to highlight some key words and phrases to just give kind of a Board Game Geek user comment snapshot. Sideshow, obviously. World War II sideshow, that is true. Fine map. Yeah, actually I think it's a very nice map, especially for, I guess, I'm not that experienced of a wargamer, but I think for a magazine game it's a nice map, very nice map, and for the topic, Eastern Africa, East Africa, I think it's a great map. And I like all the details. I do like, you know, some useful terrain analysis. So, I mean, just in this area right here, you know, you have, again, the 3 different types of high-speed avenues of approach, or roads, trails. You've got main rivers and smaller rivers. Again, you've got the impassable mountain peaks, mountains, hills, rough. Yeah, I like all that. It gives some good terrain analysis opportunities for the players. And also, don't forget the jungle there. Not woods, but jungle. Interesting is the Italians. Streamlined battles for North Africa system. That does seem to be, from what I've seen so far, that seems accurate. Maneuver opportunities, I guess. I'll see. Not very original, I suppose. Easy to set up, yeah, that's for sure. I mean, easy to set up given organization charts, which from a Bori's design, I guess I'm coming to expect that now. You know, play in just an hour or 2. Obviously, I play a lot slower than a lot of gamers on Board Game Geek, but I also enjoy it. Not overly ambitious, true, but does what it's supposed to. Yeah, probably so far. I see that. This I like. This game doesn't have rules problems. and that is, again, what I am coming to expect from Bori's designs. And so far in this game, rules are all quite useful, functional, and quite useful. Interesting situation, I guess. It sure looks like an interesting situation, especially when the British get to the eastern side of the map and they're dealing with this more complex terrain. Works well, yes. Very nice map, yeah. Pretty good standard hex encounter war game, I guess. I don't have the years and decades of experience for comparison, but yeah. Neat, quite traditional, sure. Simple little game, pretty map. I don't know about simple. Well, I guess simple's relative to what you're used to. Fun to play, and the Italians do have a chance to win. That's promising. Sets up quickly, very engaging gameplay. Good replayability. Now that's pretty impressive. Good replayability on basically a map the size of 4 8.5 by 11 sheets. That's pretty impressive. And then also, so again, I do like to take a look at the user comments on Board Game Geek to give me an idea. I don't use them directly one for one. Just because there are a bunch of negative comments about a game doesn't mean I'm automatically not going to be interested. It depends on the nature of the comments. Because what some people find, I don't know, what some people might find over-designed or overly complicated, I might like. What some people might find is boring, I might find interesting, and so forth. But anyways, also, of course, it's a good idea to go over to web grognards and look for especially errata. But the errata that turns up on web grognards is the same errata that came in my copy of the Wargamer magazine. So that is, yes, obviously, I already mentioned this, the terrain record track is mislabeled. Obviously, it's a turn record track. And the starting hex for one unit, 141st CCNN, is in a different hex. But I already counted for that. So, as I mentioned before, finish off the first turn with the Italian movement to start their initial defense. It certainly doesn't look like the Italians have nearly enough to stop this main British drive here. So turn 2, yep, turn 2, which is 22 January. Back to the sequence of play. Allied player always first in this game. So that initial phase checks all his units who turn with their supply. This early in the game, everyone looks to be in supply. Of note, the game only comes with 2, or I can only find 2 out of supply markers. Don't know if that'll be a problem or not. I don't know if that means that in playtesting units didn't go out of supply very often, or they just didn't print enough. I've already decided that if I wind up drastically short, I'll just look for out of supply markers in the other Battles for North Africa games that I have. Order of appearance, places reinforced. Trying to remember. Yeah, no. The
Allies aren't going to get reinforcements until turn 3. Yeah, turn 3. And then Allied player tries to cause Italian regulars switch sides. Very interesting game mechanic from the looks of it. We'll see how it plays out. Then we move on to B, movement phase. So yeah, let's do some movement. Keep that train effects chart handy. Pay attention to different types of units. Again, cavalry irregulars and mountain units have a different column. This is a really small font, by the way, but cavalry irregulars, mountain units are on this column, everybody else on this column. So as you can see, especially cavalry well, I guess irregulars for both sides, mountain units, both sides have mountain units, and I think both sides have cavalry. So both sides can take advantage of these lower costs in mountain, hills, and rough, for example, for those units. So let's do the southern prong here first. Okay, so we have 3 infantry units here. They're just going to continue right along, so they're following that trail. Half the terrain in the hex, so 1/2, 1, 1.5, 2, 2. Okay, so now he's switching to secondary road, which is 1/2 in clear, 1 movement point in other. So this is the rough terrain, and hill terrain. But traveling along the secondary road, it's just 1 movement point per. So he's already spent 2, so 3, 4. He follows up. And again, we have 3 stacking points, 3 for 6 stacking points, maximum 13 per hex. And then 3rd Infantry Battalion will follow as well. Back here we have this mountain artillery, also 4 movement points. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, over here, so the Italian, sorry, the Allies. Oh yeah. All right, so the British Infantry Battalion here is going to move along the main road, which is 1/2 movement point flat. So 1, 1.5 to go enter the zone of control of this Italian stack here. The motorized machine gun unit there. Yeah. Feels like he's losing the advantage of his high mobility, but we got 2 units, 2 motorized machine gun units. They're gonna so 3 stacking points, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That combat, I'll probably go ahead and try it out, but it's not seem to. I'm sure that's not good odds at all. Not a good tactic to follow here. All right, I'm sure nobody's paying attention to my tactics. 1. So yeah. So actually they can jump. Ooh. That is a 6 strength artillery. Okay, it's an artillery battalion. This one. So they're actually gonna join the battle there. All right, and the heavy tanks. 1, 2. Matter of fact, they'll stay here for the defensive bonus of the mountains. Yeah. +2 to the die roll in the defender's favor. Combat effects when defender is on this type. And yes, that is +2 die roll, which is in favor of the defender in the mountains. So we get 6 stacking points, 9 stacking points. 10, 11, 12. Take this commando unit. He'll go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Or 1.5. Or 1/2, 1.5, 2.5. Same. Send this cavalry company north. 1, 1.5, 2.5, 3.5, 4, and 5. All right. Alright, so movement phase. In zones of control, all units are at all times. Exceptions: armor, artillery, mountain artillery, motorized artillery, and irregulars do not exert a ZOC into adjacent hexes, but do control the hex they occupy. All units must cease movement immediately upon entering. Units do not pay additional movement points to enter or leave enemy control hex. Okay. So now movement phase is done. Move on to combat phase. Strength attacking points, calculate combat odds. Yeah, simple odds. Now, Allied air support. Availability: the allied player has 2 air combat strength points for use each game turn. May be used only once per game turn, cannot be saved. They can be applied anywhere on the map sheet except jungle. Each air strength point may support an attack on any hex that friendly ground units will attack during this combat phase. Exception: air strength cannot support an attack made solely by irregulars. I like that exception. Air strength cannot be taken as casualty regardless of Allied airstrike. Once during the game, the Allied. Okay, he's not going to use the airstrike at this point in the game. Alright, so he has 2 air combat strength points. Looks like they can be used. Well, actually, I have 2 attacks, so I'll just try using 1 during each attack. Okay, so supply shouldn't be an issue this early in the game. Okay, It is the allied player's combat phase. He's going to attack adjacent enemy units. Procedure. Okay. Okay, but what's the effect of the combat or the error? Oh, is it just a strength point? Just to tip the balance? Okay. All right. Okay. All right. All right. Let's do this smaller combat here first. Attacking. The allies 8, 10, 12, 18, 21, 21, 21 to 12, 21. Wow. 3 to 2. If my math is correct. 3 to 2. Wow. But the Italians are. So the Italians basically took advantage, at least at this turn. Took advantage of the bottleneck here. But otherwise, they're just on clear terrain. So there is no adjustment there. All right, 3 to 2, right? 3 to 2. 4. Wow, 1 and 1. Okay. 1 and 1 into laser. Step losses. Combat strength levels. Okay. Strength levels. These. Oh, the motorized machine gun units do have 2 steps. All right, we'll start by taking 1. The Allies will take a step loss there, strength level loss, and the Italians. Yes. No. Okay. 2, 2, 4. 2, 3, 4. So, all right. You'll flip there, and then removes the indicator number, but not from each unit of force. Extracting losses. Oh, extracting losses. A unit takes losses in the form of combat strength levels. Possesses either 1, 2, or 3 combat strength levels. Oh yeah, I gotta remember that. There are the remnant units. Okay. Alright, so not bringing in remnant units yet. Retreat. Only when required by the CRT, basically. Okay. Alright, so it's just 1 and 1. The artillery bonus did not kick in. Alright, up here we have an even larger battle. Defenders on hills terrain. Alright, first of all, how much artillery is involved? 9? 9. So not enough for the artillery bonus. Alright, so attacker 12, 22, 30, 38, 41, 41 to 8. Five to 1. 5 to 1. So it's 5 to 1. Again, heals +1 to the die roll. Okay. 7. Whoa. 7, 5, 1 is 1 and 1. Huh. So the Italians got lucky. Yeah, they did, because 1 less. If they had not had the die roll bonus for the hills, they would have been forced to retreat. Alright, this is okay. Motorized infantry. I don't think he wants to lose his tanks, no. How much does he lose in this infantry? So this infantry goes from 4-5 down to 2-3. Yeah. Actually, alright, can sacrifice. So consider sacrificing the motorized infantry there. So who has remnant counters? No Italian unit except the 674. Yeah, has a remnant level. So that definitely doesn't apply here. So first loss. Takes care of the Italians. Now the British have a lot of options here. He also has motorized infantry. So he'll take a step loss on the motorized infantry. Alright, so the British definitely did not break through. Station, calculate the odds. Yeah, that's it. So basically, the sequence of play really is just move and combat. Move and combat. The movement has some details. The combat really doesn't have that many details. It's straightforward odds, terrain modifiers, artillery bonus, allied air strength, air power. Basics, really. Alright. So the Italians would check. Everybody, I'm sure, is in supply. Do they have? I think they do have reinforcements for turn 2. So let's see how. Or releases, one or the other. Okay. Oh, they have both. Okay. So Adi Kaya, Adi Kaya is released. Place at start and release on game turn shown. Turn 2. So that unit is released for movement and reinforcements. All enter play on game turn shown at hex 4726. That's in the far lower right corner, unless otherwise indicated. So, okay. So, technically, place reinforcements. Okay. Okay, so the first reinforcement here is placed here, 4726 road and supply point coming on, supply source coming on the map. So the reinforcement is this infantry battalion. All right. And then again, this one, this 454 Colonial Infantry Brigade at Adi Kea is released for movement. Okay. No changing of irregulars this turn, then straight to the movement phase for the Italians. So, movement phase for the Italians. Okay, so first of all, Italian player is not going to release the Wolcate garrison and lose 2 or pay 2 victory points. Not going to do that. This turn, not going to look at any movement within the Tigray garrison. So these units have not been released yet. This one has. He might as well just head west, basically. So try to follow the main road as much as possible. Okay, so 1, 2, 3 along the main road, and then the secondary road. That would be one movement point. All right, and then over here, these ones should be released. But double check again. We want to double check. Oh, they're the ones that started at Hager. Okay, so they are free to move. Question is where. Again, they could take advantage of this bottleneck and the hill terrain. Yeah, actually, they will, but they're defending with 5 strength points. Well, they're just gonna have to hold out. Here, down player can just reinforce this defense. I mean, 4 stacking points, 7, 9, 10. Ooh, that's 1 over. 4, yeah, 7, 10. So that unit can't. Huh. I know what to start. 1, 2. No, it'll come up here and reinforce this flank here to start with. Here, what does the Italian really do? He kind of got lucky with that first defense. Well, let's see how. That is a mountain hex, and that is a mountain hex. So actually he could pull back. Let's say he's going to pull back. So there are 5 stacking points. They're going to come right back, consolidate at Keru. And we use these guys to come up and some stacking points, 2 stacking points, 8, 9, 10, 12, and then, so probably can't get this. This would be 1, no I can't. Artillery into hills, yeah, 3. Yeah, 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Yep. It's the Italian move, and then that's again basically it. Combat phase. Italians definitely don't have any reason to risk combat at this point. And that's the turn. So advance turn marker 26 January, turn 3. And that's it for now.